we've got to start things off in Chapel Hill. I love that. I'm fine with the made for TV stuff. I'm fine with these like games being played in Vegas, but like, this is what I'm talking about. Give me Kansas, North Carolina at the Dean Dome, a true home game for North Carolina, and be clear marquee game of the night. So we'll welcome in Rob Vino. Kick us off. Kansas UNC. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, I'm having a problem with the headset here, guys. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Is it bad?
We can hear you.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, the first thing that, of course, they both have a game under their belt. Let's start with that. They almost won by identical scores. Kansas beats Green Bay 94-51. UNC beat Central Arkansas 94-54. They gave up 3 more points. You go through these teams, guys, the first thing I found was there's a significant age gap in these teams. KU, top 7 in their rotation the other night, featured 3 freshmen, 5 underclassmen. It's not necessarily a veteran ball club here. UNC, on the other hand, their top 7, they have 1 freshman out there with 5 upperclassmen. Now, the 2 freshmen that are going to be in this game for each side are pretty highly touted. For KU, Darren Peterson actually scored 21 in his first game. He's widely projected to be a lottery pick. Some list him as top 3 high school recruit in the country, but he proved it opening night for KU. 7 of 11 shooting, 21 points, went to the free throw line 4 times, made all 4. For UNC, Caleb Wilson is their star 5-star recruit. 6'9" guy, played pretty well opening day as well. But when I look at this roster construction again, Kansas didn't do well in the portal by major conference team standards, especially by Kansas standards. I think I saw a ranking of 43 in the portal rankings. And again, Peterson's great, but they only hit on 1 recruit really where 5 stars are concerned. The backcourt here looks pretty solid. Adam, guy you're probably really familiar with, Melvin Council, St. Bonnie kid, walks in, plays the most minutes of anybody on the team in that opener. So the minutes were pretty well dispersed. Let me just lay that out first for folks watching. Both of these teams went fairly deep, a lot of double-digit minutes, little experimentation going on. Trey White is here, comes over from Illinois. They return Elmarco Jackson. He's a former 5-star. The backcourt to me for Kansas looks like it can be okay. I'm not all that concerned, but it's the front court where you basically have Bedunga, who played well, 23 points, 9 of 11 from the field first game. But other than that, there's not a lot of front court talent here at Kansas, size or talent. They did bring in Paul Mbaya, who, quoting Bill Self here now, got him late in the summer. Bill Self says, immediate impact player. Well, immediate impact player was like the 10th man off the bench for 8 minutes in Monday's game. That's not an immediate impact player. So I worry a little bit about Kansas across the front. For UNC, we've talked all week, guys, about cohesion, these teams losing players. UNC loses 8 of their top 9 scorers. Only Seth Trimble's back. However, Henri Vassar for Arizona walks in 7'7". Hubert Davis, he had mentioned in an article that I read, his main goal was to get bigger. UNC, I think we all watched them enough last year. They were too small, and they wanted to get bigger. Vassar comes in right away, 14 and 10, double-double in his opening game. That's going to help. They go to Alabama to get a stretch forward, Jaron Stevenson, double-digit minutes each of the last 2 years. So they're picking up these veteran guys, but the most important was probably Kyan Evans. I think everybody remembers the Colorado State amazing run in the NCAA tournament last year. And Evans was the leader at point guard of that team, not the top player, but the leader at point. So hopefully that settles some things down for North Carolina. Again, I would just preface it all by saying, how quickly can they gel? I don't know how much you guys want to put into these 40-point or, huge wins by each side on Monday night. I'm going to say this. The game's going to be played at a rapid pace. UNC, it was a 75-possession game. KU, the possessions were only down because they scored every time they had the ball. When you shoot 72% from 2-point range, not going to be a lot of possessions. So it's going to be played at kind of a track pace. The total has been bumped 6.5 points, 152.5, all the way to 159. I worry about Kansas being led by so many freshmen in Chapel Hill here. Can they get it done in that environment? That's going to be a question mark for me. So even though North Carolina might not be fully cohesive yet, 1.5 points, I'm going to lean towards that side to win by a bucket. And I guess if I had to, Adam, I think you stated yesterday, some of these totals have gone way, way, way like fishing line and just running. And yet they still get there, including one of our parlays last night, one piece of our parlay last night. So I would probably try a little bit of over, but I think UNC is where I'd lean a little stronger.
Yeah, I would concur. And, it's tough. You peel open the box scores from the respective first games, right? Okay, number one, Kansas dominates. I don't put a lot into that because, look, as long as Green Bay is coached by Doug Gottlieb, that's just a program that's not going to go anywhere. I'm sorry. It just is. The Trent Dilfer of college basketball is how I refer to him. Can't call him that anymore because Trent Dilfer got 86. But, you just look at the numbers. Rob mentioned Kansas going down the floor, scoring almost each and every time. Just to put some numbers to it, they shoot almost 57% from the field, almost 37% from three. They hold Green Bay below 30% shooting overall. North Carolina, it's a similar story, better than 50% overall, almost 35% from three. They hold Central Arkansas to, again, just over 30%. Put up, 1.25 points per possession, North Carolina. Again, take it with a grain of salt, given who the opponent is. I think Rob nailed the key to the handicap. We talk about it in football a lot, whether it's on the show. I do the Blitz on Thursdays, and all of us talk about it on various appearances. Whenever you have a true freshman making his first road start, that's typically a spot where people look to fade in football. And here, what do we have? A young team going on the road early in the year. I agree that I would play North Carolina as a small favorite here. For what it's worth, North Carolina, the last 5 teams, and this goes back like a long time, but, I don't know if there's going to be any motivation for, Hubert. A couple of these losses came under Hubert Davis, but North Carolina, it's been a long time since they've beaten Kansas. I mean, they've lost to them 5 straight times. That goes back to the game that got Billy Packer fired from CBS, where he exclaimed, "This game is over" in the first 3 minutes, and CBS got really mad at him. I'm sure there's somebody in the comment section that has to remember that. But yeah, I'm on the Tar Heels here as a short favorite. Kansas, there's no shame in a loss for Kansas. I don't think it'll necessarily tell us much about Kansas' big picture if they lose this game. I would expect them to lose going, cross country.
Yeah, not a ton to add to that. For me, it's like, so I'll point out a couple things. The first thing, I just want to point out the board lighting up on this game. There's a couple books that continue to go to 3.5, and then it's like instantly Kansas's bet, which makes sense at that number. So you've got a couple of the more popular books continue to push this to 3.5. Every time it gets to 3.5, some probably sharp group is hitting Kansas. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to clarify. When Rob and I were talking, it literally was 1.5 to North Carolina.
Yeah.
Those numbers are all gone now. Yeah, and so
they're not though. That's the thing. Like some of these other. So if you get,
okay, I see it too.
I think they're gone at most of like the legals, like the super popular shops, like the DraftKings, the FanDuels, the MGMs, the Caesars. But like some of these other like lesser known books are just still sitting at 1.5. And Kansas keeps getting hit at like 3.5 and 3. I think that's probably makes some sense. Like I think you're going to see, respected money on both sides of this game. For me, I made the number pick, but I'm with you guys in the respect that I really don't want to go. I don't want to back Kansas on the road at the Dean Dome, a whiteout. I heard it's going to be, live crowd. I don't trust this Kansas team enough to do that. And they're not deep enough either. So it's like, they have Badunga and Peterson, who both had really good games in the opener. Rob, you're 100% right. I'm a big Melvin Council guy. He was also at Wagner. He took Wagner to the NCAA tournament 2 years ago before his year at St. Bonaventure. I've always been a big fan of him. He is
a great Wagner team.
Yes. 6 guys. There were 6 guys on that team. And now we know their coach didn't let him drink any water. We know that as well. But the point is with Council, he's a really good, he's always was a really good just creator, shot maker, do it all yourself type guy at Wagner. And he did a lot of that for the Bonnies. A lot tougher to do that when you step up and play teams like North Carolina or do it for a team like Kansas. And you get outside those three, and I have concerns about their depth. So that's where I'm going to leave it. There's more to talk about tonight. I'll sort of defer to you guys on that one. I just don't have a super strong opinion.
I just want to double check something really quick. I don't think foolish. DraftKings right now still has North Carolina minus 122 on the money line, which is
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Which is notably different because everywhere else, North Carolina, you're going to find it's minus one. I'm looking, unless you guys see something different, minus 130, minus 140. So we're talking about how there is, people are hitting Kansas when it gets up. I don't know. Maybe it's a case of overthinking it, but minus 122 on the money line, that's not a bad deal. I would play that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's probably, I feel like this probably ends up closing in the 2.5, 3 range for North Carolina. So if you can get a UNC money line minus 120 to minus 125 and you like that side, I think that's probably a reasonable play.